Sphere and your past clients, 50% or more of your business should be coming from past clients in Sphere and referrals from those. Solid. How do you market to those? Well, it depends on who you are and where you are.
Welcome to Stay Paid Real Estate Marketing. Unlock the secrets of success in the real estate world, where each episode delivers valuable tips and strategies to elevate your marketing game and help you succeed in both life and business. Brought to you by Reminder Media.
Welcome to Stay Paid. My name is Joshua Stike, joining you remote today, along with Luke Acree. If you're checking out the video, you'll notice we are not in the studio together. I got a little bit of whatever's been going around. And
I was a wimp. I was like, I love you, not that much, though. I don't love you that much.
But we have an absolutely amazing guest today. Her name is Deborah Morton. Deborah is a real estate agent out of Atlanta and broker owner of Clareo Real Estate, where education and training are the cornerstones of her company. Having invested heavily in advanced education and technology, as well as Deborah's dedication to helping clients make the right choices to upgrade their lifestyles, has led to a $65 million in transaction volume within 2 years. Deborah, welcome to Stay Paid. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. You know, I am a fan of my video, Luke, everything that you do. So I'm so excited to chat about the industry. How we can make it better.
I am super excited to have you on. You've been a client of ours for many, many years, but we got to connect at a Tom Ferry event in Georgia. I was at one of his conferences and, got to connect with you there and see you in action. And what I loved about it was, one, I mean, your energy and personality is just unbelievable. So everybody listening to this, get your notepad ready and you're going to learn a lot. But also seeing your team. Seeing you talk to some of your team members and seeing the quality of your team members was just amazing. Even your own daughter, I'm a son of a pastor. And one of the things in the Bible, it talks about, if you want to serve in the church as like a elder or deacon or board member, it's you have to raise your family well. And I mean, what a testament to you when I met, your team and your daughter and stuff, just crushing it. And I was like, that is a sign of someone who's succeeding, not only in their real estate business, but succeeding in their life, which I think a lot of people can succeed in business, but not in their life. So a compliment to you.
That is a huge compliment. Thank you. And reaping and sowing and reaping is one of my foundational commitments.
I love that. Well, that's how you really achieve success is you reap what you sow, and it's in, the consistency there, which we're going to talk about a little bit. I want to focus in this podcast on, there's a huge issue going around, right, in the industry where we're seeing the lawsuits happen on commissions. We're seeing the debacle happen at NAR. We're seeing, articles come out. There's one that came out on Inman News recently where it said 49% of real estate agents only did 1 or 0 transactions all of 2023. So there is just this glut of agents that are not performing, and it's creating a persona to the buyer, the prospect, the consumer, that agents are not good. And I'm curious to pick your brain on your view on that and how you're attacking it, because your agents have all won awards. They're all producers. And, how are you attacking this problem in the industry of real estate agents and what's going on now?
Well, I wish I could fix the whole industry, but I can't. And I stay in my lane and, impact what I can, which is my small circle. And while I can't fix the whole industry, I can fix any part that I touch in my community and the work that I do. And that's my goal. I am intentional about the seeds I sow, and it comes back to me tenfold. Because if I'm pouring good things and raising the bar for my team and higher level skills and training, and first of all, it starts with hiring the right people. Like, there's a lot of people, when you said all those people who don't sell and they've diluted the quality of the industry, it's because they're not good. Like, I'm sorry, but we need to call it like it is. If you don't practice your career skills and get good and be intentional, I don't care what industry you're in. If you dabble at it, you're not going to be excellent. And I don't think our clients, our customers, the consumers, and the industry as a whole deserves, I think we deserve better. Everyone deserves better. I want to work with strong cooperative agents who know what they're doing. to bring better results for my clients and for the whole experience. I think that's what we need to be talking about in the industry.
Agree. You just brought in a new agent. You had said that did. I think you had mentioned $3 million in volume in their first year. How does that?
No, it's better. Got licensed the end of April. So you figure any new agent, it takes a good 60 days to ramp up to speed. That is super impressive, and that's somebody who is young, like under 25, doesn't have a very extensive sphere, and is maybe in the age bracket where their direct friends and family aren't necessarily, there's not a lot of under 25-year-olds who are prepared to buy a home. So I'm super, super proud of the agents on my team and the effort they're putting in and their commitment to training to be really, really excellent.
How did he or she go about accomplishing that? Like, what was the guidance that you were giving them, and how were they attacking it to achieve that standard or that level of performance?
So it starts with the basic daily routine. Like, are you going to show up every day dressed for work, ready with your head in the game? If you play on a sports team, you're not going to be late for practice, or you're going to be benched during the game. So I don't run like a super strict or tight ship. I mean, I probably could do better about that, but that's not my style. So it doesn't work for me. But having your head in the game on a daily basis is really the only thing that you have to do. You have to wake up, show up, bring your good energy, and intend to accomplish something every day. If agents are like, I don't know what to do today. Well, if you have no plan, you have no roadmap, how are you going to go anywhere? You have a map to where. So that's it. We show up and we work on, if you're not prospecting or going on appointments, you should be training. What are you learning? Do you know every contract? Do you know every, nobody knows it all. This industry is hard. I still train every day.
Yeah. And the professional.
I listen to your podcast.
Well, thank you for that. I like that. But that is so true. It's like the golden nugget there is look, you're not just an athlete, you're a professional athlete, right? You're not just a salesperson, you're a professional salesperson in the sense of professionals train. They show up, right? They put in the work day in and day out. And it's oversaid, but people just don't get it. They don't get it. If you're sitting here listening to this today and you don't have the transactions you want, look to your routine and your activity. Because you can't always control the result, but you can control the activity you put in. And your activity is dictated by your routine and the habits that you've formed, but people just don't start there. And what happens is, I think, at least in this industry, is the product is the real estate agent, unfortunately. The product's the real estate agent, so most brokerages make their money off of recruiting agents and, volume of agents and all. It's so that has allowed all these non-professionals to come in because it's just, we're selling the agent, even to marketing companies. I'm a Reminder Media marketing company, right? It's the more agents we can sell to, the better. So everybody's selling to the agent, but we're not setting the standard in the bar high enough. Now, you said you don't really run it as strict as you should because it's not really your style, which is hard for me to believe by your performance. But what do you think in the daily routine someone should be doing? Like, how much prospecting, how much training? Like, how do you coach your team members to know what they should be doing in their routine?
Okay, well, that's easy. So it's not, I also don't coach to real estate only because this is other industries, maybe Monday, Friday, you might work some on Saturday, but we're 24/7. So I coach to whole life because this is not a business that we have office hours and we show up and go home. So because it's round the clock, I think it's important that everybody's morning routine start with prayer, gratitude, meditation, something to get there. Get their head straight. Exercise, healthy diet, those are all, that comes before the work day. Because if you don't tend to your own garden, you can't grow anything. You have to show up and ready. And that's how I look at it. So before the workday begins, you tend to yourself and your family, God, self, family, all those things in order. from there, then it's work time. So CEO time, 30 minutes, plan your day. Make sure you're using a calendar. I use a little plug for Organized Agent. It's a paper calendar that I transfer to my electronic calendar. So I'm super high tech, but the things that work for me are being organized at midday. I can organize my day in 10 minutes because I've been doing it as a habit for so long. So appointments are in the afternoon. My morning times are my CEO time, my marketing, my business planning, my follow-up. I don't get into email until my plan is set for the day. And then I schedule all appointments, like out running around appointments from 1 o'clock on. So if I don't have appointments, you're training. You're not like going shopping or I don't know. I don't know what people do, but if you show me someone's calendar, I can predict what level of success they're going to have. And I think getting new agents to use a calendar and be intentional about it is probably the hardest new habit for them to absorb. That comes before learning how to prospect, what scripts to use, contract knowledge, all of the other things. Managing a calendar. Probably
managing your time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because somebody calls and now you're out showing houses at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. You've missed dinner. Your family life is a wreck. Your spouse is angry. Like, we have to coach to all of those things. That's why agents get burnt out and fail, because nobody's talking about those things. How do you if you don't know how to time block and you've shown houses from 4 to 7 p.m. and then you have to write an offer and negotiate. Where's the cutoff? And I started at 8 o'clock this morning because I didn't know those appointments were coming up. How do you manage that? So time management, I think, is the big thing.
Yeah.
So
where are you seeing success with marketing right now? Like, where are you kind of focused on, you mentioned prospecting, you mentioned spending time in marketing in the morning there. Like, where are you seeing, what are some of the buckets or some of the areas that you're seeing success right now with marketing? I
am super intentional about marketing. It's so noisy in the industry. It's the social media thing is out of control, and it's I think new agents get caught up in that. Everybody thinks they're going to be a TikTok star or whatever. So I think it's helpful that my whole career has not been in real estate. I was in other industries, and it would help the business of real estate if realtors would actually act like business people. No other industry thinks that all of their business is coming from one prospecting or one lead source. So let's talk about what does that look like? The buckets are, yes, social media and content is important. But is it driving as many leads as for some influencers? Yes. But for the majority of us, how many leads are going to come from your Instagram or your TikTok? A couple? Yay, that's great. But social media can be used for brand assessment, for proof of your work.
Yes.
So if somebody I have met in the industry, they Google me or they look me up, they're going to find me in all the places. But that's not my only place I'm putting my effort to find new business. So Sphere and your past clients, 50% or more of your business should be coming from past clients in Sphere and referrals from those. Solid. How do you market to those? Well, it depends on who you are and where you are. Like, what works for my Sphere in the I like cars and motorcycles. I have a lot of friends that do that kind of stuff. I'm an interesting person that way. So when I go out and people know me that way, my Sphere contacts might be at a car show. Not necessarily weekly email newsletter. Or if I do send my newsletter out, is it speaking to my audience or is it just more blah, blah, blah?
Great
noise?
point. Yeah.
Yeah. So with your Sphere, the point is to increase relationship. If we keep it that simple, how you go about marketing, the how is less important than the why. Why is I need to be in relationship with people. Do I like to be bombarded with wah, wah, wah? No, not from any industry. But I have really good relationships with people because I like them and I want to serve them, not because I want them to do something for me. So
yeah, it's so good. It's I think it's why client events have become like one of the staples for people. And I don't know if even agents realize why. It's because you're literally connecting with your relationships just like a friendship. Like when you do whatever it is, the mini golf place you're renting out or the Easter egg hunt for the kids or whatever the event is that you're throwing, you're just giving that ability to actually have a real conversation about life, not around business. And that's what drives the actual relationship, which ultimately will drive the business. And there was a guy we interviewed, one person on his team got a ton of business and brand new agent because he loved fishing and he was part of a fishing group. And I think he did like 26 transactions in his like first year and he got the majority from this fishing group, but he never talked about real estate. He just went fishing with them all the time. But that's the point.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a self-centeredness that is kind of normal in sales. Like, I want to sell real estate. So how about, hey, Luke, how's your family? What's going on in your world? How can I help you grow with the new segments of your publications that are out there? How can I serve you? And in turn, the law of reciprocity will kick into action. And at some point, there might be an opportunity for you to refer me. You're going to take it. You know what I do. And taking that more human approach to things, I think makes a difference. So your marketing pieces need to speak to that. Again, why I'm a fan of your publications, the American Lifestyle Magazine, is because it's personal and it speaks to people on a human level. It's not talking at them. It's having a conversation with them.
Yes. Spot on.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, social media should reflect that same tone. Not look at me, look at me, look at me. What can I do and how can I help you? Are you highlighting your local businesses that you do this, coffee shops, or, are you helping out at your kids' PTA in your school? Don't advertise that to get business. Advertise it to help raise money for the PTA.
Yes. It's so good.
So.
I think what happens to people is they get into the business and everybody's the same. We all need leads, right? And we're all trying to close deals because that's how we get paid. And it's so you go out there and you promote. Hey, I can help you sell. I can help you buy. And I think if people would just understand, if you just spend all your time with that giving mentality, right? I'm just relationship mentality, but become the king educator. And the reason why I say become the king educator, become the king person of like, hey, I'm giving. And at the same time, the other marketing that I'm doing is education, which is still giving, but it builds that trust. Because what I have found, and I don't know if you've seen this in your career, is that you have a lot of good friends and you want to use them, but you also want to make sure, hey, if I'm going to use you as my financial advisor, if I'm going to use you as my insurance agent, I want to make sure you know what you're doing. And that's where, if you've spent your time content-wise putting out some educational stuff or testimonials, you've done your part in getting a lot of reviews for your profiles that are out there on the web, that is the trifecta that comes together, where I think a lot of people, they mess up because they just market for the lead. So just listed, just sold, market reports, that type of stuff. And those get tuned out after a while. If you just do the relationship side, you're going to build a bunch of strong friendships, but they might not use you because people want to work with the trusted professional. They get nervous that you don't really know what you're doing. So you also got to educate and build the testimonials up to show that you have credibility. Have you seen that to play out in your business in your career?
Absolutely. So that's back to the skills part. So the training and the skills, I don't think I answered fully all the buckets on marketing, so we can circle back to that. But the skills part, why these conversations don't work well for new agents is because they really don't know what they're doing because they haven't put in the time to learn. our industry needs higher skills in evaluating. Take more classes you have to think like an appraiser. Do you know how to do math? And I'm not talking the complex, go measure a house type of things, but what type of adjustments need to be made to accurately compare a couple of properties together? Can you articulate the value of a finished basement or an extra bathroom or an upgraded kitchen? How much detraction in value is it for a house that backs up to a power line or a railroad? There are specifics in the industry that are skill-based that I think agents just want to look at pretty houses, miss. We all see plenty of gray paint the last couple of years. It's not about agreeable gray on the wall. It's real value. Do you know the schools? Do you know the communities?
Yes.
Do you know the commute times? And how many routes are there to the airport? That's important. What type of internet service is available in a neighborhood? If someone works from home, are you going to put them in an area where they have to use a satellite connection, or are you looking for neighborhoods that have fiber? Where is the skill, and how are you articulating that skill in all of your marketing?
Yeah, that is so good. So I don't want people to miss this, because I really do think this is one of the holes that is happening in marketing right now, is what you just mentioned of people are putting out it's like vanilla content that's not educational, nor is it truly relationship driven, because people don't care about the gray paint on the wall. So you didn't go and really educate anybody, and you didn't really do soft and actually target your content to be motorcycles and cars that people are interested in your sphere, or fishing or whatever it is. And that's why you're getting nothing. You're getting the worst of both worlds. You might as well just go total self-promotion than doing something like that. And I think that's what's happening on social right now. What's happening across the content that I'm seeing is oh, guys, you're missing out that the reason why our magazine works is because it has enough general content from travel, art, food, design, enough huge categories that it usually connects with somebody on a hobby they personally have. And so that's why they enjoy the gifting of the magazine. And it's not because you're just doing this soft vanilla content. It's connected with them on something they're interested in, or they perceived it as a gift. And then the other side is hey, if you're going to go educational, do that. The value of the power line, what does it do to the value of your house? That is massive, because I want to work with the agent that knows that. I want to work with the agent that knows those specifics, but I don't see that. If I go to people's Instagram feeds, that is not the content I'm seeing. I am seeing very generic vanilla content.
And it can be boring. If you flood somebody with just market data and statistics to somebody whose personality is not numbers driven, their eyes will glaze over. So it's a healthy mix. Every facet of our lives should be a healthy mix. So my personal life can't be all work, or I will, be miserable. I need a healthy mix of entertainment and vacation and travel and balance in everything. Our marketing needs to be that way. Our prospecting needs to be that way. And driving new business needs to be that way. So most new agents, you start out with, especially if you're on a team, your leads come from three places: your sphere, you don't have any past clients; referrals from your sphere, usually online leads, are whether it's paid leads or however the team leader is providing. That's the benefit of being on a team, is there's some cushion there. I generate a lot of referrals, so I am going to help a team member by providing some leads to them. But I'm also not going to leave them to stumble and fall on their face. We work as we co-list, we co-buy, we do it all together, so they have the benefit of my knowledge and experience.
That's great.
They can ask questions. They don't have to practice on their clients. That's the main thing. So you have that, and then I am a big fan of circle prospecting around my listings. So when I take a listing, I will allow my team agents, not just allow, I encourage and I help. Are you going to cold call? Are you going to door knock? Are you going to run flyers? while I'm using some online techniques to enhance the marketing around my listings, what can you do that is going to have an impact and give you an opportunity? Because new agents don't have money to spend, and a team leader shouldn't be expected to provide 100%. Like, it's not just like, here's a silver platter. So we work together where I do my part as a team leader. The new agent does their part in the sweat equity that Tom Ferry calls it, check equity or sweat equity. I'm doing some check equity. They're doing some sweat equity. And that's the first three places. I also encourage new agents to go out into the community and do business networking, or if they have children within the schools, or your kids' activities. How are you being present? And in all of those scenarios, don't go bother anybody until you know what to say. Knowing what to say matters.
Where, like, when I do like a circle prospecting around my listing, what's kind of the framing of the call or the door knocking? What am I leading with, or how am I using the listing as the reason for my call? Am I offering them a CMA? Like, how are you doing it?
Hey, Luke, I don't know if you're aware, but we just, your neighbor's home was on the market, and actually it's already under contract. It was only on the market for 5 days. And now your neighbor's super happy about the results they're getting. So I was curious, there were so many buyers that missed out because it went under contract so fast. Did you have any interest in possibly moving anytime soon?
That's fantastic. Hey, rewind that, guys, and go do that.
I mean, and that's just one of many. But if you don't know what to say, Luke, your neighbor up the street, they just sold your house. We closed a week ago. It was well over list price, and they had multiple offers. And you might say, whatever you say doesn't matter. Is it all right with you if I stay in touch in the future? Because you might know somebody else in the neighborhood who might be interested in selling. And the process that we use to get those results for your neighbor really makes a difference.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. It's creating so much good leverage and then authority too, and that talk track of what you've brought to the table. What's been the hardest part of growing the business? What's been your worst experience? And maybe it's outside the business that played in to the business, but what's been your worst?
So I think with any business, there's a lot of there's so many things that have been hard. Funding it. I think team leaders and brokerage owners need to be conscious of budgeting as they're scaling. So there's a lot of, I think every agent knows, like, shiny object, like new CRM, new marketing tool, new postcards, whatever. It's really easy. In the last few years, money was flowing, and it's easy to get in the habit of overspending. I think real estate agents need to have more conversations about profitability and running a business. I think, because I do a lot of coaching, I have coaches and I coach. And I think the conversation that is lost in real estate a lot is profitability, because there's so much money floating around. Like what the consumer pays for the sale of their house and sales commissions is a lot of money. But the actual net that the agent brings home after referral fees, after marketing costs, if you have an office, all of it, all of the things, I would like to see realtors run their business more like a business and be having these conversations. There's no other industry where that's not talked about.
Yeah.
Like you can run dental practices. They talk about it.
It's the most important thing.
Right. But isn't it weird that in real estate, that never gets discussed?
Yeah.
I'm sure you hear, I can't afford it. Well, what's your budget?
Yeah.
Like, what is your marketing budget for the year?
Yeah. And they don't even really have one. Like, they have never thought about it. They're just spending based upon the feel versus actually a business plan, which is crazy.
So I think that's the hardest part to learn, and it's the hardest part to navigate, because before I can write my budget, I need to know where my sales volume is going to be. And I mean, until you're in it, I launched very quickly in my career, and I'm very grateful to the people who helped me do that. But if you've been in it like more than 5 years, you have some idea of predictability, but you can also get like capped out. Oh, I do 20 transactions a year, and that's great. But is that all you're capable of? Like after 5 years, should you be really capped out there? Wouldn't that be the time to say, okay, what's next? And what can I improve? And how can maybe I only want to do 20 transactions a year, but how can I bring more value to my clients and net more money at the end of the year and still only do 20 transactions? So those are the conversations that are hard to have. Most people are unprepared to have them, and probably the most painful.
So good.
Well, Deborah, you are certainly doing something special there in Georgia. Before we close out, let people know how they can connect with you.
Yes, Clareo Real Estate. It's my IG, my Facebook, everything is CLAREO Real Estate. And Clareo is a word I made up. It is designed based in Latin, and it is to shine a light, or to be shining and bright. And I think I challenge every real estate agent or anybody who's in the service or sales industry. I challenge them to go out and figure out how they can shine brighter to help more people and impact communities.
That is so cool. Love that mission. Love that idea. Thank you again for being here. And thank you all so much for listening. You can get the links that Deborah mentioned there, as well as all of the show notes for this episode over at staypaidpodcast.com. If you enjoyed this episode and want to share your support, head on over to Apple Podcasts, drop us a 5-star review along with a comment, and we will read it here on the show. And the best way to support the show is simply share this episode with someone that you know. If you want to get hold of me or Luke, you can email us at podcast@remindermedia.com. And of course, you can follow us on social media as well. We are at Stay Paid Podcast. For this episode of Stay Paid, I'm Joshua Stike.
Guys, I'm Luke Acree. Deborah, thank you so much. You did not disappoint. You are truly a rock star. I encourage everybody to go follow her, connect with her. You know, she'll probably be kind enough to even answer DMs. But you have a true rock star in front of you. It's so many golden nuggets. One action item I think all of us can implement right away was you heard Deborah say one of the habits that has changed her business and her life is that she organizes her day based upon her calendar. Right. And I would challenge you, have you committed to organizing your day every single day, and that you have a calendar that drives what you do? Or are you just like a leaf in the wind, just blowing back and forth by wherever the wind blows? And I'm telling you right now, top producers, they have a calendar. And the difference between mediocre producers and top producers is top producers take action. Take action on that today.